It worked.
Hey, here we are. Hello, welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live with myself, Paul and Jenny from Host for Ghosts, Angela from South Coast Ghost, Julia from Paranation Ghost Hunting Events in the top corner, Paula, one of our investigators, and back again for even more trouble as Abnormal Paranormal, Ben and Dave. So welcome, boys. Welcome to the Monday Night Lunacy, as you see. So tonight we had no investigations at the weekend. We had a quiet weekend. We're probably all still busy in the quiet weekend anyway, trying to catch up on stuff. There's a few events coming up soon, which Julia will run you through, which I'm sure there'll still be a few tickets left. So listen up, get your ears on, get onto the website, start booking up your tickets. Um, Tonight we thought we'd talk a bit about UFOs, aliens, and our encounters and our beliefs, whether we believe it or not, or what we believe. Some of us have had encounters, some of us not. Some have been to areas that are well known for UFO encounters. So if you're watching this, please message us come through, give us your thoughts or questions, and we'll try and answer them. There's no such thing as a silly question. Every question's good. So we'll try and answer it. Give us your comments, or you're welcome to join us on the panel one night and give us a talk on your passions. I've booked tickets at the end of the month to go into London to Aldgate to see a woman to talk about does a lecture about time slips. So it's about time travel, and she's been studying the time travel for over 20 odd years, and she's going to go through some of the experience she's had with people she's spoken to and all of that. So I'm looking forward to that because I quite like to learn about time travel. Because if I can get away, we can get away, we'll go. So we're going to go and see her at the end of the year, at the end of the month, I think.
Yeah.
Up to Aldgate in London. If we got early enough, we're going to nip into Whitechapel and have a quick wander around there.
Good evening.
Hi for taking exploration. Good evening. Welcome. Have a quick pop into Whitechapel and round where the Ripper would have been, that stalking ground of Jack the Ripper. So that'd be quite interesting.
Good, yeah, good stop. I've never been myself, but would like to.
Yeah. So, because Aldgate, where we're going, is right on the border of Whitechapel. So, we get chance, we'll wander into Whitechapel, or hook up, try and find somewhere about Jack the Ripper there. I'm sure there is, and quickly have a look because you don't always get chance to go up there. It's so busy. So we're looking forward to.
And it's right over the east side, isn't it?
Whereas that's it. Yeah, correct. Yeah,
we normally just hang around like central or west. So.
Yeah. So we're going to head over there towards the end of the month. So we'll give you a briefing once we've done that. Say she's been doing time slips and about time travel for 20 odd years. So should be interesting in some of the cases that she's come across and the people she's spoken to. So that'll be very interesting. So tonight, please join us. Send in your comments. Angela will put them up on the screen. You all right, Angela?
Yep.
You'll put them up on the screen. I'm not sure where Luke is tonight. He's probably chatting to someone. Probably not, actually. But there you go. No. He might be on in a bit.
No, Lynn's had to go to A&E, so he's probably not coming on.
Oh, okay. Is she okay?
Yeah, just got an infection in her wrist.
Oh.
Somehow.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a different one, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. So, unfortunately, probably Luke won't be in tonight. But if you want to come and join us one night, talk about your passion, time travel, haunted dolls, haunted buildings, haunted objects, anything to do with the supernatural, paranormal, come in and join us. Just send your messages in. So what we'll do now, we'll go over to Julia. She'll go through a few events that are coming up. So get your tickets, get on them events, because then you won't be disappointed. So, Julia, just tell us what you've got coming up.
It's been crazy. The last one we did was our Halloween one at Shore House. I don't believe I've been on here since. That was a really good event. That went quite well. We currently have a few places left for our Christmas aboard HMS Warrior. So we have a few places for that one. That's the 7th of December. I've been wanting to do HMS Warrior for so many years, and to actually have the opportunity to go and ghost hunt HMS Warrior is a dream come true for myself. So I'm probably more excited than anybody to be going on there. And myself, Angela, and Darren, we were there beginning of the year, and they had like an evening thing with HMS Warrior, and Angela and Darren asked me if I'd like to come along. So I came along, and we went on the boat in the evening, and I think they're doing like some sort of stargazing or something on there, and it was just amazing, absolutely amazing. 4th of January, we got the old convent, which is just outside Andover. We went there end of June this year. Very, very good place. Paul saw a ghost, and a couple of other people saw 2 other ghosts. So we know that there's definitely, well, we've seen 3 ghosts there. The people that came last time.
Great place.
That's at the 4th of January. 25th of January, so if you can hear anything in the background, I've got kids. 25th of January, we've got Bombay Sapphire. Very good. We went there end of January, beginning of the year. 8th of February, we got Victoria Hall. That's over in Ash. In February, end of February, we're at Devizes Town Hall. That's one that's been on my to-do list for a couple of years now. And then at the end of March, we got North Fort down in Weymouth. So that's not too far from Abnormal Paranormal. I think it's too far, so maybe we can meet up then. Beginning of June, we got Oxford Ghost Hunt, Oxford Castle Sleepover and Breakfast, and I've today put on Halloween at Downton Abbey's Cogs Manor Farm. So that is as far as I've got. There's a few gaps in the diary for next year, and I'm leaving them open at the moment because there's always venues that come up and you're like, oh, I wish I did. I wish we could do that, you know? So there's some gaps, but it's, so far a very busy year for 2025. So, it's going to be a pretty busy year next year. So, it's, but we're taking bookings for all the events. So, you know, you're welcome to jump on and book.
So there you go.
I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but it's my children. Can you hear them?
Spirit. It's not Spirit.
It's not a party. I'm going to mute myself.
You're not at the Bombay Sapphire, are you, Julia? You're just not telling us. You're just not telling us. So they heard it from Julia. Get onto the website, get your booking your tickets. You know, there's lots on there, lots of choice. You know, if you don't like bits and pieces, you can go have a look at another one. The Forts, you know, Oxford Castle, you know, the old convent. Brilliant place. What a place that is. That's absolutely a cracking place to go. And what we saw there, you know, from 3 different people was, you know, that really made their night there. And it's a beautiful house. Beautiful house. So it's well worth getting onto that one in January. And get onto the Paranation website. Keep looking. Keep going through there. There's going to be something on there that will float your boat and you'll want to go. So make sure you get on there and book your tickets.
That's a good joke. That was your boat. We're going to go on a boat soon.
I'm glad someone's awake on here. I thought you'd all nodded off on me then. But I just drop that in there and see if anybody paid. Well done, Paul. You can come to the top of the screen now. I'll get Angela to move. Angela, what have you got planned? What are you? You're going to the Warrior, are you?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be there.
You got anything else planned for this year, or just the Warrior and?
Just whatever I come across when I'm out and about. Like on Tuesdays, I always go over to Titchfield with the kids for their lessons. So if it's nice weather and not too cold, I'll pop over to Titchfield Abbey and have a look around there. Or,
how far is that from the pub then?
It's not far, is it?
About a 5-minute drive.
Oh, is it? It's quite close then.
Yeah. And then you've got Bishop's Waltham Abbey, which is about 25 minutes away, which is quite nice as well. So
but that's a bit like ruins, yeah? You did a live from there once, didn't you? I think I saw that with the wind.
Yeah, that was a touch. Yeah.
That was good. It's interesting.
But there's so much wind in the background, I don't know if I can make a video out of it. But
that was interesting, though. It was nice to see it.
Really pretty place.
Is it?
You did try to go into the Jews, didn't you, cemetery, but it was shut, wasn't it?
Yeah, the little Jewish cemetery we were talking about last week. You can't get. You have to get a key from the synagogue to be able to get in there. So we couldn't do that one.
I don't think they'd probably be take too kindly to ghost hunters in a Jewish cemetery, I would imagine.
It's really a tiny place.
It's small.
Bit like wandering around a Christian graveyard, isn't it, really? You know, not that we do that, do we, paranormal hunters? We don't do that, do we?
No, never done that.
No. Boys, what have you got planned coming up?
Well, we might go back to Yatton Church graveyard.
Yeah.
Not going to graveyard.
Not a graveyard, no. You're going to walk around the outside of it, aren't you?
Yeah. Great Fulford in November, end of November, 23rd.
Yeah, so we've got a Great Fulford, so that looks really
big event.
That looks really good. We're really looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're trying to get a castle as well nearby, but they haven't got back to us yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Royal Castle we're trying to get as well, which is in a nearby town to us. So yeah, we're trying to get that.
And will you head over to Norfolk and Weymouth? Would you head over to that one?
I just went on mute a minute ago, and I said to Ben we should probably
definitely.
Yeah, we'll look at that after this.
That's quite near our caravan. Yeah, it's not far from where our caravan is in Norfolk.
Yeah,
so
Weymouth isn't far for us really.
No.
Yeah, it's not can't be that far, is it? An hour drive maybe or less?
About an hour, say. Yeah. Maybe
You're in Weston-super-Mare, aren't you?
Yeah.
I used to race along the beach there on a motorbike.
Did you?
Yeah, the beach race, the Weston-super-Mare beach race. Yeah, done that for a few years.
Do that now.
Broke many a motorbike on them sands. Paula, what have you got planned? What are we doing around?
Nothing at the moment. Only the Warrior.
You're off to the Warrior, though. Are you excited about the Warrior?
Yeah, can't wait. It's a place I wanted to go, actually. I've been on there in the daytimes. I have been on the daytimes with the house. So it's a nice ship. But I've always wanted to do the ghost hunt down there, see what's going on. So I can't wait. I felt a bit like Julia getting excited, going, woo!
What was the other ship you did, Julia?
Did do the Fitchery, did you? Anything like that?
No.
SS Shield Hall, wasn't
That's the one. Yes, that's the one. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah, that was a good night there as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was really cold sort of everywhere on the boat, apart from the base room where it was roasting hot and you had to take everything off.
You couldn't really win then?
No.
Oh, wow.
It was good, but I think I felt that we would have been, we would have had more access. Like if we could go down to the engine room, that would have been great. But it was just cold, very, very cold that night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be, doesn't it, when it's right down by the river? Anything along the river or by the sea is always quite cold, isn't it? For some reason, it's very, very cold. You know, you can't imagine these sailors on the boats in the snow, can you? When they were sailing around the Arctic and all of that, how cold must it have been in them boats? Oh my God!
I think I've got a video of. I think it was like 1 and 2 in the morning, and you could see the mist coming in across the sea, and that was quite magical.
Yeah. Are they all right there, Julia? They're having a fight or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about the noise in the background, but yeah, I will mute myself.
No, I want to go down later on. I want to go where the prison used to be down Kingston. I want to go round there. I still want to have a nose round there because I've got flats around there. So I had to get you to come down, Angela. We're to go and have a nose down there.
Yeah. I can walk from here. That's all right.
I know it's not far, is it? I said. I tried to go we tried to go Wednesday to that one there, but she had looked for me. Lucky she did because it was shut. See the cemetery, and it's like, oh, do you mean?
All right.
So we're
and that's not far from where you are, then.
No.
Well, no, it's not too well. I can get a bus. It's not that hard to get through. But she was going to give me a lift because I was at chiropractor on Wednesday. See, so I was going there, then come from Ensworth, and I was going straight to Lido, and then she was going to pick me up from there and go down there.
All right.
So Yeah, I'm trying to think of different things to do. Really, the cemeteries are good ones, I think. Really, in the daytime, we have to do it in the daytime because not
You're
shut.
not allowed in the cemeteries. Not allowed in the cemeteries.
Outside. No.
Walk round the outside of it.
Yes, I am. I'll be a good
Anyway,
girl.
excellent. So UFOs, boys, what's your experience with UFOs and aliens? Have you had any, or?
I'll let Ben talk about. He loves this UFO stuff.
Oh, brilliant! Go for it, Ben.
For years, like probably since I was like 13, 14. I've not had an experience myself, but just that feeling of knowing that there's something out there. It's like everyone thinks that, I guess. Like we're not alone. Like when they say there's no life in the universe, like how can that be?
Yeah.
Science can't explain it. Doesn't mean it's not true. Same as the paranormal, I guess. Like just because no one's explained it scientifically doesn't mean it's not real. And with all the evidence as well, there's so many evidence.
And what's your take on it? Do you think that they actually visit us, or do you think? How about if we're not actually talking to ghosts, we're actually talking to aliens?
Yeah,
they're not spirits; they're actual ghosts.
Yeah.
They're actual aliens.
That's where I think it all links in a
There
bit,
is.
doesn't it? Like the paranormal and like.
I think like
UFOs
dimensions and stuff like that. I guess they all cross over.
So you could be talking to an alien rather than talking to a ghost.
Also, are aliens humans that have died before? They've just progressed in life or another life.
Well, here's a question for you: when you do a human pendulum, and Julia will tell you the same, how come the person in the middle knows the answer before the question's said?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they're.
So is that a form of telepathy?
Yeah.
It's also the same with dowsing rods as well.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the same with the pendulum, where you can think something and they'll move before you don't even have to ask the question. And I think when we do the pendulum, that's what is happening. Someone round the circle is asking a question mentally, and that person is swaying.
Also,
because obviously it's all picked up, even though we don't say it. It's all picked up.
Yeah, we have now technology that creates gravitational forces. Yeah, something's pushing you inside the pendulum that obviously has gravitational force.
That's what I mean. Do you think that they connect by telepathy, where they can actually hear what you're thinking and answer before you actually ask the question? Because we've done a human pendulum before, where it's going yes, 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 but nobody's asking a question. And you say, and Julia will say, and Angela and Nat and Paula, you say someone's got a question that they're asking in the head, because it's giving you an answer. So is that telepathy? Where they can read your mind and they're giving you the answer before you've asked the question? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well, and I think it's just because if you believe in aliens or whatever you want to call it, I think they're a lot more smarter and advanced than we are.
Definitely. I think they've had more lives than we have as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, more lives. Yeah. Well, what do you think, Paula? What's your take on that?
Well, I do think they're among us personally. They've been here a long time, being truthful, the aliens. And I do think they walk among us personally. I think they're in human form sometimes as well. Because I don't think everybody is, do you know what I mean? They've been on the earth for a long time, basically. And the thing is, another thing I find is that when I've been out at night times and anything else, I have seen things out there and anything else, because you see it's not a star that's shooting across. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
especially living in Portsmouth, you must. Yeah. I know some people have seen a lot on Portsdown Hills when they look out.
I'm underneath it, so I'm underneath it. So literally, but sometimes even Justin's gone outside, and if it's early hours in the morning, you stand there and you look up, and then suddenly you think that's not a star. Do you know what I mean? And next minute it's starting to move. Do you know what I mean? Going like that right across the sky. Do you know what I mean? And then one time I remember being outside with Justin talking, just chit chat, and I remember looking over to my next door neighbour's roof, and I remember seeing something. Basically, I looked and I thought that don't look right to me, and it was weird because it was just literally, how to explain it? It's just like the fishies, the big stingrays. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
that big massive ship type thing. It looked like basically it was all like black basically, but then it was like invisible in some respects, but it wasn't, and it just went like that right across my house, right across here basically, and then disappeared. And I just looked up and I thought, am I seeing this? And I remember saying to Justin, look up. He was like, what? I said, just look up over there to me. And he looked and he went, oh my God. And that's the first time I actually saw something. Do you know what I mean? I've seen loads of like you know what I mean? Justin sees things quite a lot basically here, but now and then I do see it when I'm see like the little ships going.
So that Portersdown Road, is that where Fort Woodley and all of them are at the top? Is that Portersdown Road, is it?
Basically.
Right.
Yeah, Portsdown Hill basically, because you've got Portsdown. Yeah, it's a hill basically. So you've got the Hill Road, and then you got Portsdown Hill Road. So where I am basically is literally above. I'm not far from Southwick.
Right.
That's where I am basically. So that's where I am, right underneath that, near enough basically. So I can walk up the chalk pit straight up to the top, and I can go to where that is. And Nelson's not far from me either, so I'm not that far
Right.
distant. And then you've got all the other forts along. Do you know what I mean? So we do get a lot of activity up here, basically with all the different aliens. But yeah, I do think they are among us, just basically, and some family, you know, famous people. I think they are too. So there you go. I'm not naming people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Angela, what's your take on that? I know Darren was quite into that, wasn't he?
Yeah, I have lots of things to say for once.
Really?
Going back to the human pendulum thingy, I think because all thoughts are energy as well, and whoever's in the middle has got that energy with them, that's how they pick up on it, because you're thinking it and it's an energy and their energy, and it just all, that's my take on the human pendulum.
Agree with that.
Yeah, go with that.
We've seen when we go on holidays and then we're like outside the caravan like midnight, having come back from wherever, we always used to sit outside in the clear night and just like watch all the stars. And I always remember like after just a few minutes, you'd see those which were sort of just moving across. And
I thought you were going to say a few drinks.
yeah. Sometimes I think they were satellites, because they'd be like in a straight line, sort of
Right.
same speed, same distance. But then you get this one which appeared to be like that, and then it would just change direction and move off like in a different way. It's like, well, that can't be a satellite then. So whenever, like even just coming back from picking up Amy now, I get out of the car and it's a clear night, and I'm just sort of looking up at the stars. Where are they? Because there's always one that don't look the same as all the rest, and like, that's got different colours around it and this and that. And Darren always used to see things, and he had this thing where it was a few days after he'd seen something, there'd be this what he termed like an Airwolf type helicopter go past, and it would always be like a few days after he'd seen something, and then he'd be on the phone texting Justin saying, "Oh, I've just seen the helicopter," back and forth about it, and that was quite amusing. But I read something the other day in a magazine, Fortean Times. It was about aliens, and it was a good theory that one. Good theory about aliens being sort of other humans like us, whether we've come from a different planet originally and the aliens are from like where we were originally, and they're just sort of coming back and checking on us, or things are going wrong here and that's why there's sort of a lot more sightings. They're trying to like get us back on track, or they could be us from the future, a different time or a different dimension or something. So I'm not sure if I'm of the opinion as such that they're different creatures, but just us from a different time and place. What I'm into at the moment, but don't know where that will take me.
It's an interesting subject, isn't it? Because my theory is that if we go back as far as we can go back in time, at certain times in them years and centuries, there's one person that appears to be above everybody else. Like you'd have Einstein, and you'd have the guy that done electric, the guy that done telephones, the guy that done penicillin, you know, and it seems to me like they come along and think, you know, actually, because who could think of designing a wheel, you know, back in the Stone Age when he wouldn't know what was round and what would work? Who would give him the idea of having a round wheel would make a cart go along?
Yeah.
So I often wonder whether the aliens come along and think, you know what, this race is a little bit behind times, they should be here now, and they drop someone in there that brings us forward them few steps. You know, it was like Stephen Hawking's. You know, the guy was severely disabled and handicapped, but how clever was that man? You know, how clever. And they say, I read in a magazine an article saying that he wasn't far off of working out warp drive for space travel before he sadly passed away.
Well, that's what they say. Someone might have made him ill because he got ill later on in life, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he could have found out stuff, and someone didn't want him to come out with the information that he knew.
But can you imagine if the government came out and said to us, yes, there is aliens and they do live amongst us? Can you imagine the hysteria and the panic that would be caused by doing that?
Yeah, then you'd have people accusing each other of being aliens, and it'd be like the trials again, wouldn't it?
Wow,
Yeah, it would be like
that's the thing.
Like you say, it would be like the witch trials. Yeah.
It would. Yeah, it would.
Because you wouldn't look at each other the same, would you?
No.
And I think that's why they withhold a lot of the information back, because they don't want to cause mass hysteria or panic. But we all know, I mean, we've all been to Waverley Abbey, obviously other than the boy. And when you stand and look at Waverley Abbey, what do you see in that night sky? It's just full, isn't it? I think we were there one night. I think Darren was there. It was myself, Dora, Jen, Angela was there. I think Paula was there. We had the massive white light appear, like a flash, a massive white light in the sky. And it came, it flashed, lit the whole place up as quick as it went. Now, it can't have been an aeroplane. It can't have been a satellite. And it literally, me and Dora looked up and it was this pure white, bright light that appeared and then disappeared very quickly, but it lit the whole place up. I don't know what it was because I don't know. And it's like the night that you were all over there when you saw, you know, the dragon flying around. You know, why there of all places? But when you look at that night sky there, it's so clear that it's just amazing that you can see what goes on. Like you say, if you go out on a clear night, you can clearly see things moving around. And there's a program on, is it last night? It might have been last night, about UFOs and traveling. And they're saying if it was a human or human body in a UFO, the way it flies across the sky and then does a complete U-turn or up or whichever way, you know, it defies the law of gravity, how it can turn and move, that the human body wouldn't be able to stand that type of pressure of that sudden difference of turn.
No.
Yeah.
It'd be like 10 or 11 Gs, wouldn't it?
Sorry?
It'd be like 10 Gs in the turning circle.
It turns that quick, doesn't it? Changes that, like you were saying, it changed that direction so quickly that it can't be a satellite, because satellites don't change direction. They just orbit. They just got that one orbit around the Earth. And like you're saying, it changed direction so quickly. You know, and they were saying that the human body couldn't withstand that amount of force by being streamed along and then suddenly turned back. So, you know, whatever technology that they know that we don't, they can obviously travel through time at whatever speed, you know, and I do believe they're here. You know, you look at the pyramids and things thousands of years ago where they have pictures of spaceships.
Well, look at Stonehenge, for example. Yeah. How did that happen?
But how do you build all the pyramids in Egypt in such a perfect shape?
Well, that's a very interesting question.
But like, you know, it's like from space they can see the 7 wonders of the world. And I often wonder whether the 7 wonders of the world are a map reference.
Yeah.
You know, they can see them and they know exactly where in the universe they are, and it gives them an idea because they're in a. I think does it form a triangle? I'm not sure. With the seven wonders.
Yeah,
Sorry?
the ley lines are connected as well. They all line up with each other.
So is that, could you say that was a map reference? Is that a reference for something in space, or is it just how they built them? And lots of things we see, like say the pyramids and all that type of stuff. You think, well, how can they've got the size of the blocks to Egypt? How could they have stacked them up on each other? Because they never had cranes.
No.
They only had bits of wood and rope and thousands of men pulling and shoving and whatever, And you look at like the Roman buildings, isn't it? How ornate the chippings, the carvings are on the walls and the pillars, and how well and yet thousands of years later they're still standing. So you can't tell me that they just learned that in that age. Something's come along and shown them how to use this type of technology, isn't it, to progress us along?
Yeah.
These comments are from Gemma. I don't know why the name's not coming up.
All right. Hi, Gemma. Welcome. UFOs, I don't know what to believe, but I think I'm more of a believer than not. Once in the fleet as a teen, I saw an odd shape in the sky and just disappeared. No cloud in the sky. Also, do satellites disappear? They probably do when they go out of orbit. As I've seen things at the night, once I see, then they're gone. And I've had a vivid dreams, a lot of aliens too, some weird reasons. I don't think it's a weird reason, Gemma. Anybody who's takings on that?
I've never had dreams about aliens, so I don't know about that one.
I think dreams tell you stuff. Like, yeah, definitely. There's always a meaning to a dream.
I normally dream about ghost hunting, and I wake up in the morning and I think, oh my God, that was a great ghost hunt last night. And then I sort of like try and recall it, and I'm like, yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Wasn't it great? So and so was there, so and so was there, so and so was there. And I'm like, actually, what did I do last night? Oh yeah, I stayed and watched TV, yeah. But it's normally sort of like mainly a Sunday night, or one night during the week. I always like dream about ghost hunting. I don't know why. I've been doing it too long, I guess.
What did you say, Ben?
Dreams tell us stuff that we forgot, I think, as well.
Well, dreams tend to download from your subconscious, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's everything you store during the day, during the night. And when you go to sleep, your defenses drop. So it's also when spirit can get to you easier to communicate, because sometimes spirit put dreams in your mind and you dream about a certain person, a certain subject, certain things, and I've had like a dream where I'm actually astro traveling across fields and I'm looking down and I'm just traveling, but I know I'm not because I'm in the same place, but in the dream I'm actually traveling. So is that me dreaming that, or am I actually traveling in the astro? I've come out of myself and gone into the astro travel where I'm traveling around, astral travel.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
In dreams, when we go to sleep, we're very not vulnerable, but our guard drops, doesn't it? And spirit find it easier to drop the memories in or drop a link, and this is why Jen's such a strong believer of having a dream diary, of writing everything down that you've dreamed about, because somewhere in that dream there'll be a message for you, but you just can't see it because you forgot the dream. It's like people saying to you, do you dream in colour or black and white?
Colour.
I don't know. Never actually thought whether I dream in colour.
Also, someone said, try and see a clock in your dream. Someone said, wherever you are in your dream, try and see if you can see a clock.
All right.
Yeah.
Or to sort of look at a time, or.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, never heard of that one. That's a quite clever idea, isn't it? That must be Gemma again.
Is that Gemma?
Looks like I would be abducted by an alien then. I doubt it, Gemma.
Well, let's hope it's after the 7th of December.
And they drop you back on the ship. You suddenly appear on the ship. How did I get here then? And it's often, we talk about dreams. It's like that deja vu moment, isn't it?
Mm.
Do you think that all countries have an Area 51 and just I'm a strong believer in that.
Yeah.
You know, because Area 51 is quite a famous area. You know, it's the only place that's got a swimming pool in the middle of the desert. You know, that tells you everything, doesn't it? Really, and anywhere you get near it. But I think, you know, here we probably have an area. Boys, what do you think about that? Do we have areas here that are secret like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we have because we have ties with America, so we have American stuff come over to our naval Royal Air Force bases, and I'm pretty sure Russia have their own sort of stuff.
They've got to have places that test stuff, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think most countries, to be honest.
It's just the American one's more famous, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I do think I do think a lot of it's to do with the wonders of the world as well. I think that's like symbols for alien life, I think, as well. Like the energy, like portals and stuff like that as well.
Because they all believe in the same sort of stuff as well. Like most religions are the same across the world.
Yeah. But it's like you think about, you know, where the Americans were practicing with time travel during the Second World War. If aliens are not real, why do we have an Area 51 then? That's exactly it. It's a hidden weapons testing area. You know, why can you not get near it if we don't have aliens? You know, what are they hiding? And it's like you watch the program on is it Roswell? I think where they had the alien craft crashed. You know, why be so secretive about it? What are they so worried about? If they had, I don't know what your feeling is if they had a UFO crash in Roswell 50 years, 60 years ago. So what technology did they find on that spaceship?
Sorry, say again?
If there was a spaceship that crashed at Roswell 50, 60 years ago, whenever it was, in the 63 or 66, is it? Something like that.
Well, it's 1940s, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so, yeah. It was right after the Second World War.
But you think, if they got that spaceship then, and the advances that we've made in science and technology and AI and that now, what technology do they have from that spaceship they use now?
Well, like we were discussing before we come on tonight, how from that point in time, technology's just gone crazy, hasn't it?
Now we've got it went from supercomputers to smartphones in your pocket.
So what technology have we taken away from that? You know, used it to our advantage.
And I think that's, you know, sometimes we see these things in the sky that we can't explain. Is it a propulsion that we don't know about, a test in the plane? You know, like you say, every country will have their secret research going on, don't they? Because everybody wants to be the superpower if anything does go wrong. But, you know, you think with the technology that's available,
Ben's got a cool book here.
What's that?
He can show you.
Area 51. All right, the Black Jets. Is that what they call it? Is that the SR-52 or whatever they call it?
SR-71, yeah.
Yeah, the SR-7. Yeah, that's the Blackbird, isn't it? A stealth plane, isn't it? And that's what I mean. That technology there, and now they're practicing with technology of a plane that flies out the atmosphere, haven't they?
Yeah.
Americans have been testing it.
They jumped from the Spitfire to the Hurricane to that in like 20 years.
So where has that technology come from?
Exactly.
You know, you have more technology in your phone than you use more technology in your smartphone than you had on the shuttle.
Yeah.
That would fly into space, but your phone was more powerful than what you could fly into space. And I mean, the person that thought of the World Wide Web, the www. You know, where did that technology come from? And yet now we can't live without it. Isn't it? It's our whole world. Our whole world revolves around communication, doesn't it? So if you think, you know, if aliens come along, the first thing they would knock out is our communication. So we'd be buggered, wouldn't they? We'd have no phones, you know, TV. We'd have nothing, would we? Because the first thing, it's like they tell you at any war, the major thing in a war is communication. If you knock that out, nobody knows who's where or who's doing what. So if you had an alien race that was that clever, the first thing they would do is wipe out your technology, wipe out your satellites, or wipe out your all your communications.
That's why I think they're not a threat, because if they were a threat, they could have
easily
done it with a blink of an eye.
Exactly. I think.
So go on, so Paul.
No, go on, Paula.
I was going to say years ago. I remember years ago that we didn't have the phones, did we? Mobile phones years ago. It's the truth of it. I'm going to tell you how old I am now. No, but when I was a teenager and everything else, that's what I'm saying is that I didn't watch TV that much, basically, and I knew when I was allowed to go out and see my friends, I knew where they were based. So you didn't use your phone, you didn't. So to me, it wouldn't bother me if it all went down, because it would make no difference to me, because I know where people are. Do you know what I mean? But I think that this generation now, with phones and everything else, with communication, if people did go down, the world would go to pot and people go mad and there'd be a riot.
Yeah.
And I often wonder whether the next generation, because they always texting each other and never actually talk, whether the art of communication will die in the next generation.
I don't think they'd be able to cope with it, being truthful.
Because everybody talks to everybody by phone, don't they?
Yeah,
whether it be texting, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, however we talk to each other, and then because we don't have that art of conversation like we are, where we're sitting together chatting about different things, which is like obviously communicating how you would. So if we were just to do all this on a text, would that in the next generation, that art of communication, the talking to each other, would that go and you just communicate through a computer? Computer send this message to so and so. Computer send that to so and so. Tell them I'll be down in 5 minutes.
Before we had the phones, you had pagers, didn't you? I had a pager, basically. So before that, I used to, if I want to text my partner at the time, I had to do a pager, and you had to put a word in, and then it gets sent to wherever the office's messenger, whatever it was, and then it go to him. Do you know what I mean? So you had to pay for that service. And then you had the phones, didn't you? So I had a pager myself. But the point is that like now, I don't really use my phone. Very rarely. I might text, some people on here basically and say, "How are you doing today?" La la la. Disappeared again now. I don't know if he keeps on doing it tonight, because I've disappeared. So spirit must be trying to cut me off.
You've probably got a UFO over your house.
I think the
Men in Black.
Yeah, I think there is. I've been asked it today. I've been here today, and there's been so much Air Force around here today. Been going on. I just don't know what's going on at the moment. So either there's this, maybe the president is coming over soon, maybe, or maybe it's the part of, maybe we've got what's his name, King Starmer, what's his name is, the Prime Minister, because something's going on around here at the moment. So I've had loads of Chinooks going over. I've had helicopters going over. So something's going on. Or maybe we have aliens.
Well, also. we say the the aliens fly through space, but what about the ones under the sea?
All that going on, yeah.
We forget about them, don't we? The submersible UFO. I think they have a word for them, don't they?
Yeah, I can't think.
I can't think of the word, but they're underwater because we've explored more of the moon than we have at the bottom of the sea.
Well, that's a point actually, because NASA actually stopped exploring, didn't they? And I think there's a reason behind that is because they couldn't compete with what they found. I reckon.
Well, yeah. What did they find?
Well, that's it.
It's like Antarctica, isn't it? Why does nobody ever go there other than the army?
Yeah.
And presidents.
Yeah. What's up there that we don't know about under the ice? None of us ever explore up there because it's always like a massive army base, isn't it? Where they doing all these, they're looking through the ice for creatures and all sorts of things that have been frozen over thousands of years. Or is that a secret military base that we don't know about?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, Nazis were interested in it.
How do you know it's not alien base there? Alien base, and they're all connecting with each other. Do you mean talking to each other? Do you mean you just don't know what plans are, do you?
No. And we don't know what's under the sea, do we? Is that film? I think it's called Abyss, isn't it? Where underwater aliens.
Yeah,
I think it's Abyss or something, deep blue water or something.
Yeah.
And that goes on about underwater aliens, doesn't it?
Mm.
You know, when they dive so deep into the sea, they actually come across an alien city in the bottom of the sea. But we've never been down there because we've got nothing that can withstand that amount of pressure. But the UFOs or submersibles are seen going in the water. They've seen them on fighter jets disappear into the water. So where do they go?
Yeah.
You know, and it makes you wonder. We see them in the sky, but they're also under our feet, aren't they? In the waters, in the sea, and you know, so it just leads you to believe, where do they go?
I wonder why that's why we don't go to Mars anymore, because there's a lot going on up there as well with aliens, they keep on saying. So I wonder if that's why we're not going up there. We've
But
been told to.
they used to say that about the dark side of the moon, isn't it? That we
Yes,
never
we do.
actually see the
Yeah.
dark side of the moon ever.
No.
What's behind there? What is actually there?
Mm.
You know, will we ever know? Probably not. It don't be a privileged few that know what's on the dark side of the moon, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I had to find
You know,
out
and
who the gentleman that we watch sometimes. There's somebody that we watch, and he actually does sky. He puts the binoculars and he zooms in to the moon, and he shows you that basically there's water up there, and he's showing
right.
you basically there's like, it looks like little scaffolds and things like that people are living on the moon, and they're like ships coming out and everything else. I had to find who it is basically what the bloke is, but we've watched
Yeah.
him a few times. It's very interesting. And they show you what's going on up there, and it makes you think there must be another world up there that's happening, which we don't know about basically. So it's very interesting what he finds up there.
It wouldn't be
Yeah.
stuff that we'd put up there, or the Americans had put up, or the Russians had put up there. It's definitely like
ships
us living
coming
up
out of-
there.
Could be, as you know.
Because I know that, you know, the Americans send loads of rockets and everything up all the time.
Yeah, it could be. We might have people living up there for we know. Do you know what I mean? Because there is water up there, and there is green bits up there as well, like grass. It looks like. So for we know, there could be another. Could be like you say, either people living up there that they don't want to say nothing about, or there's aliens up there, another life, and that's why we're not been told not to go up there no more. We're warned off. You just don't know, do
Yeah.
you? Really?
Mm.
It's like a lot of like pilots and that get buzzed by UFOs, but they're not allowed to say anything, are they? You know, and what do they see from the International Space Station? Did you think how quick that's orbiting the Earth and space? You know, what do they actually see up there? There must be a lot of space junk flying around the atmosphere. It's got to be in there, discarded rockets and debris and all sorts of weird and wonderful things floating around there. But, you know, what do they actually see? Why are they sworn to secrecy that they didn't see a UFO? Or, you know, a lot of aircraft pilots say that they get buzzed by UFOs, don't they? And I don't know. It's a strange subject, isn't it? But I do believe they're with us.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
100%.
I think you'd be silly to think that they weren't here.
Absolutely.
You know, that if, like, say, you look at the pyramids and places like that where it's been carved into the brick of an alien spacecraft, you know, you can't say 3,000 years ago they were making it up, because they wouldn't even know about flying, would they?
The materials and stuff just couldn't have had anything, you know, back then, you know, but our actual bodies itself, you know, and our muscles, we wouldn't have diggers and, you know, all that sort of stuff, would we, back then?
No. And it is what, you know, whether it's like Rendlesham Forest, you know, in Suffolk. There's a very famous sighting of a UFO landing there just outside the American Air Base of what is it, Lakenheath, Angela, or Bentwater? One of them, isn't it?
Oh, I can't remember.
It's one of them just outside. It's just literally outside in the forest, and it's Rendlesham Forest, and it's very famous for this UFO landing there, and that they came off the base to go and see what the flashing lights were in the woods, and they sort of went through the woods and they could see these coloured lights of a spaceship. And when you go there and you actually walk through the woods, it's very disorientating, because they put a plaque in the woods to say, oh, the UFO landed here, but it never actually landed there. It landed somewhere different. But they put trees and all this, but if you go to a certain part of it, there's no trees, nothing ever grows there. So, you know, and it's very and Angela, tell you, when you go in there, it's very disorientating when you're actually in there. You know, if someone spun you round a couple of times, you think, now which way did I come in? You completely lose which way you were within there. I don't know what you felt when you went there with Darren, Angela. What did you get when you went in?
Well, even the first time we went in, and I think Darren stayed behind because he couldn't walk that far, because we started from the beginning of the trail. And we got so far around and we had our little map. And then we were trying to find like the different points on the maps. And there was one I couldn't find. And I kept sort of going back and following the track. And then it didn't seem to make sense. And then I thought, well, I've just been down here, but it says it's down here. And I was getting all confused and mixed up and asking other people that were around me, so where am I on this map? I couldn't work it out. But I think in the end I was where I thought I was, and they just put it wrongly on the map. So I carried it really. But it still felt weird, and I sort of went off in different directions down little paths and things. And I think if I'd have gone further down there, then I would have got completely lost and never found my way out again.
Yeah. It's very disorientating place. Very, whether that's due to the UFO or it's just, I don't know, a phenomenon that's in that woods. I don't know. But literally, if someone spun you around, you wouldn't know where you had been and where are you going. It literally is like that. And if you go into a forest, you always know your way in and way out, don't you, generally? Think, well, that footpath we came in, that's the footpath going out. But there's footpaths going off everywhere.
Yeah.
And they all look the same. So if you spun round, you think, oh, which way did I come in? And then forest goes on for a lot of miles. It's a huge forest. A bit like, it's a bit like Epping Forest. It's a very dense forest. And Epping Forest is often known for people walking their dogs, hearing like stagecoaches coming through there with horses. But obviously it's not a place you would want to go at night.
No.
You never know what's in the forest at night here. And it don't necessarily mean aliens either.
No.
That sort of, I think my only encounter really was when I was really young. I'd been out for the evening with my sister, my elder sister, and we were coming back in. And at that time, I lived in a place called Stanwell near Heathrow Airport. And we lived in a block of flats. And we used to park at the front and walk around the back to get into the flat. And I remember coming back with her late one evening, sort of 9 o'clock-ish. I was only young. And as we walked around the corner, we both looked up and we saw what looked like a cigar-shaped object in the sky, like silver-shaped. But what would have been behind us would have been Heathrow Airport at that time. So there wouldn't have been an airplane there. But it looked to me like a space, like a airship, that type of shape. But it was huge, absolutely massive. And I said to my sister at the time, can you see that? I wonder what that is. And she said, yeah, I wonder what that is. I never really thought much about it. And of course, we went trotting indoors. Oh, I don't know what we just seen out there. Because my parents then went out, but it had gotten by that time. And then in the local paper, we used to have a paper called The Villager, like a little local paper that went round. Yeah. And people were saying they've sighted this object in the sky. But Heathrow Airport said it actually appeared up on their screen, on their radar.
Oh, right.
Because it was such a size that it actually showed up on their radar. And then they didn't know what it was. It wasn't another aircraft. It was something that appeared on the screen and disappeared. But I think that's my only ever encounter, I suppose. I don't know. I might have met them and not took any notice. But that's my only personal account that I've seen. And I always remember that, say, as being a small child, a cigar can only make it out look like an airship. That's exactly what it looked like. But obviously it just sat there. And it was sort of obviously dark at night, but I could honestly say it looked silvery colour. And I can only think, that's my only encounter, what I thought. It may have been something else, I don't know. But it was
like in the late 70s?
Yeah.
In the 70s?
It would have been around that time, yeah, when I was still young.
I do remember going to my grandparents' house and we weren't coming back. And it wasn't late, about 10 at night, 10, half 10 at night. and we saw something like a silver type cigar type shaped thing in the sky. I
So it would
remember
have
my
been,
mum getting a
yeah,
bit scared of it, and we were just like sitting in the back. We were only like kids, and we were looking at it, and ooh, look at that. But that was
yeah,
a silver cigar type thing,
yeah,
big.
yeah, huge. It
Do you
was huge.
remember those airships? Do you remember the airships that were like a big silver balloon with a basket or something, a canopy
Yeah.
underneath it? It almost looked like one of them, but
Weird.
it
Yeah.
wasn't because it didn't have the canopy bit. It almost looked like one of them.
Strange, isn't it? You know, and it to me, yeah, it that's exactly what it would have looked, and it would have been around the 70s when I was a little bit younger then, and I just remember seeing it, and I've never forgot it because of the shape and the size of it, and yet it was in the local village paper saying, you know, was this a UFO sighted at Heathrow Airport? And they even said that they had something appear on their screen. In them days, you wouldn't have had fighter jets scrambled that quick because they weren't that fast in them days. But it said it appeared on the radar for a few seconds and then disappeared. And it literally was. We went in the house, came out, it'd gone. And something that size had gone that quickly. And if it had been an airship, it'd still have been going off in the distance. You know, you'd have seen the engines running or heard something, but it was absolutely dead quiet. It just stopped.
It wasn't even that high in the sky. It
No.
was. I do remember seeing it, and I think my mum just got, she got really freaked out. So my dad just put his foot down, and we just like, didn't
Tried to
really
outrun
think
it.
much else of it, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now you mention that, it has jogged my memory, and we did see something very, very similar. And it didn't seem to be moving particularly fast or anything. It just seemed to
No.
be hovering. And from what I remember, because we were going down like a little lane, it was a little lane in the countryside, but the trees weren't particularly big. You could see it, because there was like fields and that, and it was making some sort of like almost like a weird humming noise, and I think that's what my mum was a little bit scared of, and that's why we just thought, we were scared out of here. But it was almost like you could hear like a humming type noise, and there was a lot of talk in the 70s about aliens and bits and pieces, so there could certainly be some truth in that.
Yeah. Well, I always still remember it now, the shape of it and just the sheer size of it, really. And being next to Heathrow, we thought, well, it can't be an aeroplane because obviously the planes are coming in and out. And saying it appeared in the local paper. Lots of people saw it at that specific time, but obviously, like you say, people would get wind up, wouldn't they, in the 70s that there was an alien craft in the area.
Yeah.
Not so much now, where people just want to see one, don't they? In them days, people were so scared of the unknown that they were trying to avoid the question.
40 minutes from Heathrow, so it wasn't too far away.
Quite possibly the same one that I saw. So we lived in Stanwell, which is right on the Heathrow Airport, and in Stanwell Moor. And say we saw it coming back, me and my sister, my elder sister, and then time we'd run in and got the parents to come out, it actually gone. So if it was an airship, you think you'd still see the remnants of the airship slowly wandering away.
The airships, they didn't go that fast.
No. So you would have seen it, wouldn't you? If you'd have looked in the distance, you would have seen it. And we lived in a block of flats, so we could climb up to the top, virtually the top, and look. But it had gone. It literally was not there. So within that short of space of time, it was there and then gone.
Yeah.
Whether it was a UFO, I like to think so.
My friend sent me a story a couple of weeks ago about this UFO that she encountered in Somerset. I think it was about 20 years ago or something.
Yeah.
She says, we were coming back from Bath and Wayne was walking back from Frome to Colford down the lanes alone in the dark. We saw it near us and it went off towards Wayne. It hovered over my house for at least 20 minutes. Everyone was outside looking. We stayed in the car because we were petrified. And we drove off to get Wayne and saw the lights follow us, then shoot off. It was so bright, it looked like daylight under it, but no sound at all. It was like helicopter spotlights, but no sound. And then she said it was all over the internet until the next afternoon. Then it was all taken down. And they often tried saying it was military planes because it was near Warminster, but planes always made noise, and it was just odd that there was no sound. And then she said it happened again a year afterwards in the middle of the night when her bedroom was illuminated like day-night at 3 a.m. and it was silent again for about 15 minutes, and she had never saw anything since then.
Oh, wow.
Strange.
That's incredible, isn't it? Really.
There seems to be a theme with them, like when you see them quite sort of obviously like low down, where they don't make any sound at all. It's just silent.
Like a humming sound, yeah.
And also orange orbs are supposed to be quite common around UFOs as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Have you seen anything like that, boys, in your travels? I know you're still young, but
nothing.
Julia. Yeah, that's it, Julia. Look, just like that. Exactly look like just like that.
Like a blimp.
Yeah, like an airship.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looked like, just like that. But it was, dark at night, but you could see it was silver in colour. You could actually see it silver, even though it was that dark. And that's like Julia's showing you there. That's exactly the shape it looked like when I saw it. And obviously the same shape as Julia saw, in the 70s. It may have all been the same thing what we saw, but we saw it for two different distances. So what about you two boys? Have you heard anything like that? You've seen anything? You think, well, hang on a minute. How can that be?
Well, when we were in January, we were in America. We were in San Francisco, and we were actually going under the bridge in San Francisco, and we saw. I saw something in the sky. It's far in the distance, and it didn't look like a plane or anything.
Yeah, there was lots of stars in the sky, but
there was something like moving quite. Yeah,
like you say,
just
like,
a weird
in that direction.
Yeah, sort of. And I said to Ben, I don't know what that is, but it doesn't seem like a star.
Yeah, and it was only for a couple
or
of
a
minutes.
normal plane.
Yeah,
because it was a clear night, so you could see like the shapes, can't you, of like a plane, if it's a plane. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, what shape was it?
I would say it was like a round shape.
Yeah,
it
wasn't.
Definitely wasn't in the shape of a normal plane.
No, it wasn't a plane.
But like you said, it could be anything. It could have been military. You know, you don't know. It was very high in the sky. It was very high in the sky.
That's the thing, don't you? You don't know what the military are playing with the technology, whether we class it as UFOs, but it's actually military technology. But I'm not so sure we're that far advanced in technology. I don't know. Can we have a propulsion system that doesn't actually make a noise? Imagine this is Gemma.
Yeah.
Also, if you go on the gov.uk, they have proper reports logged. If they were not real, why would it be on there? 1 cent link to Angela and Paul. Thank you, Gemma. Yeah, but that'd be interesting to see. What if you? We can put the link on the chat, boys, and just pick it up from there.
Yeah.
If and I think they're worried about paranoia or mass panic. If they was to tell us, yes, it is an alien craft, we don't know the technology, we can't shoot it down, but we can't catch it. I think we would start to panic then, thinking, hang on a minute, if we can't catch it, can't shoot it down, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the hysteria that would cause around the world.
They do in
for
America
people.
all the time, don't they? They do have conferences about aliens and things like that, and conferences about sightings, and they've had even governments, haven't they, all come together basically on a panel and everything else and ask them what it's all coming out slowly.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there's going to be a build-up of something. You never know. Maybe theory. So a build-up of something, so later on say it is going to happen. They're just gradually building you up slowly, and then people won't panic.
The biggest problem the governments have is that everybody carries a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So everybody is a roaming reporter, aren't they now? That's hundreds of millions of people all over the world that are roaming reporters. So if anything happens, someone's there, aren't they? Whether it be a war zone, a car crash, an aeroplane, alien craft, paranormal, ghosts, because we all carry these phones that are so powerful now, can take pictures at any light, anytime, anywhere. Is it now that it's becoming more prevalent because more people report it, because more people are carrying cameras and phones that can actually capture this type of technology in the sky?
I think the government like the noise as well.
Like the what?
They like noise. Like whenever someone reports something, they like it because they can cover what they want to cover up.
It's an art of distraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you can take people's distraction away from what's actually going on, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to rule somewhere under fear.
Oh yeah.
That's what you got to remember. The more fear you install in people, the more they'll do for you.
Absolutely.
And it's this technology that I think they realise that if we knew there was technology or aliens out there that had the capability of maybe destroying us, or they could suddenly appear amongst us, it means that they couldn't control it, could they? That's the thing. Like we say, everybody's wandering around with a phone. Everybody's got the ability to take photographs and videos now at any day, night, evening, early hours. Phones are so good now, they can take at any light.
How do you know the theory, right? How do you know that our country's not being run by aliens? You just don't know that.
No.
I think there's one in number 10, but I wouldn't want to go on there.
I
don't want to go.
True though, isn't it? How do you know they're not running anyway, our country? You just don't know that, do you? They could be running our country, controlling us. You just don't know.
Well, that's the thing, who is it behind this? Who is behind this technology? If they found a spacecraft in 1940, like I was saying earlier, 60 years on, what technology have they learned from that craft that we don't know about? And if they can produce warp drive for space travel, then that means they can travel without worrying to the distance, because you're traveling twice the speed of light. Where would that lead us to in exploration of space? And I do think one day they will appear.
Yeah. Hopefully in our lifetime.
Hopefully.
It would be nice.
It's only when the government decides that when they want you to know. That's the truth.
Well, you think all the top secret documents you can look at now after 60 years of being hidden away, they're all what do they call it? Redacted, where they cross the lines out. So they say they're freedom. You can order them by freedom of, but they cross a lot of the information out. So what's the point? I think they call it redacted.
Yeah,
I think they call it something like that, where they cross them out and you can't read it.
I've done that a lot.
So they say the freedom of act. You can look at these top secret documents now from 60 years ago, but you can't read them because they're crossed out. So there's nothing in there that's any good. And it's like Area 51, isn't it? You watch these programs on the TV. As soon as anybody gets near the fence, they're there. So what's so vast in technology that they need to hide it and intimidate people to drive them away from the fence? And it's also like that. What's it called? The farm. Is that famous farm? Sorry?
Skinwalker Ranch?
Yes.
No.
But the things that happen there are not natural, are they?
No, I was watching. I've been watching a lot of things about it the last couple of days.
What, Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah, about cattle mutilations that happen there. It's crazy.
It's like the Native Americans would call them skin crawlers, and they were actually shapeshifters, things that could change their shape. So you can't think the Native Americans made them up, because people still see them now. And what happens on that ranch is beyond belief, isn't it? Really,
it's absolutely mental. But they think there's. I was watching something on YouTube. They think there might be a tunnel underneath it, don't they?
Oh,
Yeah, which is quite interesting.
I know that they say on the top of the hill on Area 51, although it's in the middle of the desert, and they say that there's nothing there. I watched a guy that sneaked in as far up as he could with a thermal camera at night, and you could see heat coming from the top of the hill like a chimney. But the Americans say there's nothing there.
Yeah,
It's just
that's where
desert.
we've got the craft S4. It's another part of Area 51, basically.
Yeah, and they have a runway and a swimming pool.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing there, why would you have a runway and a swimming pool?
Yeah.
You know, they must think the public are daft.
Yeah.
But, you know, you see these people to get right close to it, and they're warned off, aren't they? There's all these army trucks coming over the hill, and they're followed, and, you know, all of that. It'd be good fun just to go there and just get them to follow you. wouldn't it?
Just find out.
Just run them a lead, just drive all the way around the fence. Get them all out the old boats chasing you. Come on! There you go, Julia. See if you can hire Area 51.
That'd be a good event.
It would be a good one, wouldn't
Very
it?
popular.
We could have an event around a fence, because that'll be about as
Yeah,
much.
We're not much of a game.
Might be an expensive night.
How funny. Oh, right, everybody here, let's go then. Oh dear, no, we don't. That's the event. We wander around the fencing. How
You might
funny.
go there, might be arrested, never seen again. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
We have to
Whole
tell
paranormal
people.
group gone missing. If
Yeah,
anybody
exactly.
sees Paranation, can you please point them in the right direction? 40 people now missing,
Yeah,
and they're English, so they're bound to have got lost.
yeah.
Well, that wouldn't do any good for my insurance, would it?
That'd be one claim, wouldn't it? That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Still leave all them cars
Send me
behind and all. I'll be making sure I go back and get my car, that's for sure. If I've hired a car, I'm not paying the excess on that one,
They might take
whether
it
they
back
took
for
me or
you.
not. So if you take me, you've got to take the car, because that's dear old car, that one. But it's an interesting subject, isn't it? You could go on all night, really, with what you can see and can't see. And, you know, and when we go back to Waverley, if you can ever get down there, boys, with us, you know, you look at the night sky there, there's something else there, you know, but it's quite a place.
I don't know if anybody knows, but
we'll try and get there. Definitely.
We were just, well, Darren sort of organised us to pop along to Waverley
Oh, yeah, sorry, I meant to say that,
last
yeah.
year, and Angela's notified everybody, but we are in the 14 times, and it's been an absolute dream of mine to ever be in this magazine, because when we were there, that was a really weird night, and we sort of like saw something. We didn't know what it was. We still don't know what it was, but we've actually got 4 full pages, which is an achievement in itself, all about Waverley Abbey and what we saw. And there's a picture of us there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a picture of like Darren, Angela, me, and Richard Freeman there. So, and the sort of like weird animal type thing that we saw flying through the trees. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a couple of things. So that's well worth a read. I picked mine up, and I think Angela picked hers up from WH Smith's. It's £5.25. It's a December edition. I haven't had a chance to read mine yet. I've just flicked through and seen the pictures, but I'm hoping to read that at some time this week. But that was another weird place, and I think we've even been there on nights before when we've looked up into the sky and we've seen, as Paul rightly said, about the flash and other things that have happened there. And it's just like it's not in the middle of nowhere. It's not in the middle of nowhere, but I don't know. There's just something weird about that place.
Yeah, you go there and you get that feeling, don't you? And every time we've been there, we've had something different happen, haven't we? Different experiences every time we've been there. You know, we went there with the Alice box, and it told us where we were standing in the ruins that time. You know, we've had table tipping in the middle of the grass. You know, we've had things, and Julia's seen a lady standing across the field or walking across the field. Is it? You took a picture of it, didn't you, Julia, once?
That's the only place that I've had numerous ghost photos. I've taken photos, and these date back to years ago. Years ago, I've been every time I go there, I try and take photos. I don't always get something, but I have a little collection of Waverley Abbey ghost photos. So if anyone wants to have a look at them, I'm more than happy to share. Because there's a few. There's a few.
Some
There's
good pictures.
a lady in white. She's got big white, almost like a long ankle length nightgown, white long nightgown and long black hair. She's there. There's some other bits and pieces there. Weird things there.
Yeah.
Didn't he? William had somebody run in front of him, didn't he? Somebody just run across him, basically across the field, didn't they? Basically, when he was there as well.
Yeah.
With Justin, they both went off because we was in. Me and Paul and all us lot was actually with when you put the music on, didn't you, for the monks?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yes.
Actually, well, not scary. It was over. You know what I mean? It was that quick. Do you know what I mean? But it seemed forever, didn't it? It was in like a portal. It just didn't look real. I think because when Justin went off, thought they were going to go somewhere else. They saw this person run across the field. They thought it was a person, but it wasn't. It was just ghosts gone straight across the field. And then we was in there, and then where the fireplace was, we ended up, didn't you? You put the lights, didn't we? Basically, the laser lights.
Yeah, the laser grid.
Fancy it, didn't we? On the top of this what's it called?
Platform. Like the back wall, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big, wasn't it, concrete thing, basically. I can't holds it up, basically, like a pillar. That's it, pillar.
Yeah.
Word. Pillar, basically, was fancy. I couldn't figure the word then. Pillar. Will come out. The pillar basically was there, basically, and we pounced it on there, and it was shining right across, wasn't it, basically, by the both main windows. And I remember looking at it, basically, and then Julia said, let's put some monk music on. And then it completely changed, it did, basically, because that music was going and everything else. And I just remember
changed, didn't it?
And I was standing by Paul. Paul said, can you see that? And then suddenly, wasn't it? It was literally went all dark in that area where the dome is, basically, bit.
Yeah.
It went completely black. And then it was like a portal opened up. It was like totally different. And then it's weird because the lasers were still going over this side, basically over here. But where the dome was going around there, it all went dark and disappeared.
Yeah, lost the lights.
The lights was on the wall though still, wasn't it? So it. So that middle bit was literally dark, went completely black. And then suddenly where the window was, basically, I just remember seeing somebody, I don't know if there was two, well, they looked like monks. I don't know if they were kneeling or they were standing and they bowed. That's what I saw, basically. And I was like, is this really happening? I remember Paul going to Paul, he said, did you see that? And I was like, yeah, I did see that. And I was like, what the heck? Do you know what I mean? That was the first time that I saw something unreal. Do you know what I mean?
I find the video I've got of the fireplace where I caught the soldier walking across the fireplace, the shadow.
Oh, wow.
You've seen that one? It's really, you have to look at it. It comes from right to left and it's around about 20 seconds. It's very quick, but you actually see the soldier walk across the fireplace. That was there. I think we left the camera because that's the thing that sort of Darren taught me. Leave the camera, walk away and just leave it there. You know, let it do its own thing.
Well, that night, he filmed it that night. So I wondered if he had footage because he filmed it that night because he was over the other side, wasn't he? When we
that's right, yeah.
And he put the camera over this side. So I wondered if he ever catch anything on there. Because he did film
I don't know, actually. Because I think that was one of the occasions that I was standing there looking out of that dome building, looking across towards the house, the Waverley house. And me and Dora, I can't remember who else it was, saw a soldier on a horse riding across the ruins from left to right.
Was it?
Was myself, Dora, Nigel?
Yeah, I think
it might have been Nigel, was there?
I was going to say Nigel.
And we looked across and we all looked at. Pardon?
I don't think I saw that one.
No.
I thought it was somebody messing around in the ruins. You know, as you're looking towards the house, you've got like what would be the entrance, the half brick wall type thing there. And I remember looking and thinking, who's that running around over there? Because I knew that we were all this side and moving around like we do. We end up going different bits and pieces, don't we? We all sort of spread out. And I remember looking, and then Dora come out and said, who's over there then? And when we kept looking, and I was sure Nigel said, there's a man on a horse. There's a soul. Look, and you could see what in there over that brickwork, like a man going along like that, and then didn't come out the end of the ruins. And I looked at Nigel and thought, and then Darren wandered over. He said, did anybody pick up on a man on a horse? I mean, that was it for me. I'm thinking, well, I did actually see something then, because Darren said, I thought I can pick up on a man on a horse here. And I'm thinking, well, that's done it for me. And it was like the time where Darren made me touch the fireplace. Do you remember that? In the kitchen, touch the wall. Was you there then? And he said to me, touch the wall because there's a message in the wall. And it was about the hidden scroll inside the building. Do you remember that? When we were all there, there was myself, Darren, I think Andrew was there, Luke, Lynn, Nigel might have been there, I think Jem was there. I can't remember who else was there.
Probably was.
I'm sure you were.
I did loads.
Yeah, but it's quite a place to go, boys. We'll meet up and go over there.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's quite a place. It's never failed to let us down. And it takes a while to build up, doesn't it? There, but when it does, because we always stand there chatting for about half an hour, don't we? About how was your week and this and that, don't we? Have a good old chin wag, all of us chatting about our week, and it's nice to get together and just chat like we do, and then suddenly we go, oh, I know why we're here.
Doesn't it? That builds the energy.
I think so. I think, if you all just like take your eye off the ball, if you like, you've got your fingers on the glass and that, and nothing's happening, keep your fingers on the glass and just chat amongst yourselves and have a bit of a laugh. And then they think, oh, hang on, you've come here to talk to us. Why aren't you talking to us? And then things start to happen. And, you're correct. It does create energy, and laughing creates energy. And if anyone says, if you're going to go something and say, oh, you've got to be really, really quiet, so, it won't, no, make laugh and have a laugh. And, it's really good positive energy.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you're having a laugh or you're chatting amongst yourself, it's when you hear the voices. Did someone just hear that?
Something will happen, or your REM pod will go off, and then you're like,
yeah. And it's like doing this, isn't it? Where we've heard that voice of that woman before, or that child. I was going
to say, we were all just like chatting, aren't we? And it's just come through a few times, isn't it?
Well, my laptop was laughing. I turned around a minute ago because my laptop went off basically a minute ago, and the drawer opened up. So I was like, oh okay. So that's why I turned around a minute ago. I was like, oh, okay. I'm not going to
let's avoid Paula's house. It's haunted. We won't go there then.
I think it's going off. I don't know what houses.
You're welcome to come here to the haunting here. There's always something going on here in the night, isn't there?
Oh, bloody
taps, bang, knocks, and come in from outside.
We've got a little girl. We've got a little girl here, and I've actually taken a photo of her. So I know that.
Amazing.
So that's why when we hear the little voice, I'm thinking, is it her?
Yeah. Quite possibly could be, couldn't it?
When you're in the kitchen,
I was standing in the kitchen the other week.
The girls and Steph were over.
Girls and Steph were over, and I think I was cooking or doing some washing up, doing something, and I said, "What do you want now?" And I saw someone standing next to me, and I looked round and I thought, there's nobody there.
You come in.
So maybe the girls run off, and I came in and said, "Who was in the kitchen room a minute ago?" And they said, "No one. The door was shut. We're sitting in the lounge." And I knew there's somebody here because I actually said to them, "What do you want?" So I don't know, it's a weird place, is this?
I saw that orb, didn't I?
Yeah, Jen saw an orb. We see all sorts of things.
Like it was a face. I thought it was Paul getting up.
It's weird. It probably happens at all of our houses. Whether you pay attention to it, like Julia says, she is a little voice of the girl or whatever. And it could be that's what we're hearing on here, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
And it always happens when we're chatting, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So, any more questions, Andrew, or is that it? Thank you, Gemma, and the others for tuning in tonight.
There was just one last little message. That one.
Oh, happy birthday, Carl.
Happy birthday, Carl.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Paul. Happy birthday to you.
21 again. 21 again. I keep doing that every year. It's 21. I never seem to get any older. I don't know why that is. But anyway, we'd just like to say a big thank you from ourselves on the team here for tuning in tonight and sending the questions in. And thank you, Gemma, for joining in. It was nice to see you on here. You know, you're always welcome. You can always come on the panel, Gemma, and chat. You know, we don't mind you coming on, talking about stuff. So you don't have to be worried about showing your face. It's fine. Come on. So obviously keep an eye on the Paranation website. Get on there and book your tickets. The Warrior. There's some real good events coming up. So you won't be disappointed. It's a great team. You know, it's led very well. And you get your own time. It's not structured, so you can do what you like. And it's a great night. You have, you know, you do get some really good contact. And because it's such a relaxed atmosphere, you get a good contact with spirit as well. You know, so get onto the Paranation website, start book your tickets.
Do it.
Hopefully, boys, we'll see you in Weymouth at one stage if we don't see you before.
Or come up and stay at Portsmouth for the weekend. There's lots to do in Portsmouth.
Yeah. We could
Jump on
hire
the ship
Fort
with us.
Woodley. Do a private investigation.
Yeah. We need to do that.
We should do, really, as a team, shouldn't we? Hire one of our own events and spend the night there.
Instead of hosting, we'll be doing our own bits and pieces. So yeah. Let's put our heads together and find somewhere, and then, you know, you're welcome to come up, boys, and join us in that part of the team now.
Absolutely.
You know, come up, we'll find somewhere that's really good. We can spend the night there.
Definitely.
We've got to go to one of the forts because there's a good burger van just down the road, so we were all right. It's better than McDonald's, my friend. It's better than McDonald's. What's it called, Angel? I can't think of what it's called.
Monster burgers?
Mixed monster burgers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Not that Angela goes there, look. Or Paula, look.
I used to.
But I think
walk up there.
it's open till silly o'clock as well, isn't it?
I think it's open 24/7.
Yeah, it is 24/7.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
literally right by Midley Fort, so you just walk straight out of there in 2 minutes. up
That's
the
right, it is, yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah. So you can have a burger, go and do a ghost hunt, come out for breakfast and have another burger on your way home. Go home all burgered out. See any ghosts? No, but I had some real good burgers. Forget the ghost hunt. I've had some cracking burgers.
I did walk up from ours about when the sunset was quite low. Basically, me and William, Justin actually left about 3:30 in the morning, and we actually walked up to watch the sunset. Basically,
Oh,
yeah.
an hour up there, and we had a burger up there. I was there.
3:30 in the morning.
It took us
How
an hour
funny.
to walk up. It took us an hour to walk up, so we waited for the sunset to come up. So we got there early. So we was walking through the field, going through rabbit holes, and do you know what I mean, falling through things. It was quite exciting, but yeah. And you could
That
see the
sounds
light.
like
My sort of nightmare.
yeah, it sounds like Jen's sort of
That sounds
lovely
nice.
walk. That was one Jen would really enjoy. That would be
You see what people were up
anyway.
to. It's surprising how many people were up that time of morning, though, because we were
Yeah.
houses. You suppose the lights are on. You think, really, this time of morning?
But when you come out of Widley and you look over Portsmouth and that, you know, it's mentally high.
Evening.
Evening, Liam of 12. Thank you. We
Let's go.
were just, yeah, we were just on our way out. But anyway, thank you for tuning in tonight, and we really appreciate your input. Thank you, Gemma, for coming on tonight, putting your questions and that in there. Well, we really appreciate you interacting with us. You know, if you have a subject you want us to talk about or find out about, or all the other stuff that goes on in the paranormal world, we should have an update on Colchester within the next few weeks. So we'll let you know how that investigation's going. It's we think we've sussed out what's going on, but it's just we're going to go up there one late evening and go wandering around like in the woods, see what we can get in the woods, and we think the answer's there for what we need. So we'll be doing that with a client, wandering through the woods with the dogs. Make out we're not paranormal investigators at all, with the meters and REM pods going and voice record. What are you doing? Oh, just recording the dog. Infrared cameras, you know, all the stuff that doesn't make you look like a nutter.
We're looking for
stayed overnight
We're looking
there?
for dog poo, but we need a camera to look for that.
Have you ever stayed overnight
So
there?
we should have. Sorry,
Have you ever stayed overnight there? Have you at all?
no,
No.
no thanks.
I've just got one last question that's popped up. You
Okay.
got time for that one?
Opinion why ghosts always peek and hide, it seems. What are they scared of? Boys, what do you think? Anybody got a thought?
I don't think they do hide.
I don't think
No,
they're
I don't
hiding.
think
I
they
think they're
hide.
very intrigued in what you're
you
doing.
are.
And it
We
takes
just
a lot
have to
of
find
energy
them, don't we?
to come
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
I
They're
think.
sussing us out.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
suss out
Yeah.
because it's like us. We wouldn't go to a person that's negative.
No.
We
No.
avoid them, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, or
Yeah.
pick someone you think you've got a bad feeling about them, and you try and avoid them. And I think spirit are the same.
Yeah.
They look around and they're looking at you, thinking, "Is that a good energy?" You know, we don't actually know what they see. Do they just see an energy haze?
Yeah,
Do they
exactly.
see us as we are? You know, what do they actually see? We see a shadow, or what we assume is a shadow that sticks out or looks or whatever. But what do they see of us? Are we an energy? Are we a mist that they see? Or are we a haze in the distance? The shape of a body?
I do sort of like tend to say, you know, can you see us? And they sort of say yes, you know, and you know how many of us are standing here, and how many of you, oh hi Jules, and how many else are standing there. So yeah, I think we just try and communicate with them. I think they're just normal people, and some are like shy, some are, you know, don't really want to speak, you know, and if they see like a board or something, they're like, oh, stay away from that. But you can communicate with them in many ways. It doesn't have to be through a board or anything like that. So
No.
Like with us, haven't they? Really being truthful, you've got to think is that when you meet somebody, a stranger, you don't really know them, do they? And they don't know us. So they're trying to suss you out to see what vibe you are and what energy you've got. So if you've got a negative, they ain't going to come near you, are they?
no.
So,
And then some people go home and say, oh, we didn't get anything. And you're like, well, you know, why is that? You know, why didn't you get anything? You know,
That's
it's
a lot of it.
difficult, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, say if you've got like a cat ball at one end of the room, and then you've got one maybe closer to you, or like a REM pod close to you, I think you'll know if they're quite happy to come and speak to you, because those trigger objects will go off as well. So they get closer to you as well.
That's it, isn't it? You know, it's drawing them in to show that you mean them no harm.
Yeah.
You know, and you come with the utmost respect for what they are and what they do. And it's all about having respect for them. You know, thank you for interacting with us tonight. We're very grateful for you coming forward. You know, you've got to be respectful and respectful of the surroundings that you're in.
Yeah.
Because it's their home.
Yeah.
You know, it's their home. It's where they live. And if you're disrespectful, why would they ever want to talk to you or do anything for you? Because you're disrespectful. You know, some people do what, Ben? Sorry?
They might come to your house and disrespect you if you.
Well, yeah. But it is all being respectful, isn't it? You know.
The thing is, you don't know. Another thing as well is because you think how many people go to that place and the ghost hunting and everything else. You don't know what experience that ghost has had with somebody else. So if somebody's had if that ghost, you know, was, you know, a nice person, but then somebody wound it up, it doesn't mean you're going to get the same experience next time. That you might think, oh, and that's why maybe he sets back a bit wary, thinking, oh, hang on, what's this person like? So am I going to get the same experience again?
Yeah.
I mean, no, do you really? It's gone through.
Or the same question. You know, how many times do they hear the same question? Anybody here?
Yes.
Anybody talk to us? And you tap once for yes, twice for no. You know, how many times must they hear that?
Rolling their eyes.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Go on, you do it this time. Go on, your turn.
Yeah, I've had enough of knocking on with me knuckles. Or Enid, you have a go at knocking for them. I've had enough now. You know, that type of stuff. And it's like when you see people say, come on in, do your worst, come and scratch me. And I mean, really, why would you want to be doing that? I always feel myself, I go there with the utmost respect for them. an utmost respect for my surroundings that I'm in. You know, they've allowed me to come there. They've allowed me to do my investigation there, talk to them, knock, taps, open things, shut things. So why would I be disrespectful? You know, you've always got to say thank you for interacting with us tonight, like we do round the circle, right round the circle we do. Thank you for coming into the circle with us tonight and communicating with us. It's just showing them a bit of respect.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
it's the case that they're there and they just watch what you're doing and how you do it.
Because if you're going into someone's like home, like a spirit's home, you don't know that that's like back in. It's still their time, so it's still their home, and obviously you need to show that. I think you do need to show that respect for them.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. It's all about respect, isn't it? You know, you're asking them to do a lot, aren't you? To come into our energy, show themselves, talk to you, tap, you know, interact with us. So it takes a lot of your energy, hence why you get the paranormal headache the day after, where you feel so drained. You know, it makes you wonder how drained they are from trying to connect with us.
Yeah.
You know, so if you've had a group go in there on Saturday, doing all the group, and then you go in there on the Sunday, you're not going to get the same interaction.
No.
Saturday night was brilliant. We had such a great day. We had this, that. We went there Sunday and it was flat.
Yeah.
You know, it's that type of thing, isn't it? But anyway, blimey, we've done 1 hour 36. That's not too bad. Not too shabby, is it?
We're trying to make a
Anyway,
target.
yeah.
Oh, just tell them about the thing with Darren.
Oh, yeah.
That's from the Ouija board.
This will make you laugh. This is creepy. So Angela and Jen were on a Ouija board,
We were doing Horsham Church.
Horsham Church, and Darren had come through, and I obviously had a conversation with Angela, and then what was the last message, Angela? He said, was it something about
Paul and retiring, and then he wanted Paul to phone him.
Yeah.
Ring Paul or call Paul or something like that.
Yeah.
When was
So-
this?
when we did Horsham Church a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, okay.
I think you were. Where were you? You were away, or were you? I'm not sure. We did a platform and then paranormal evening.
Friday, wasn't it?
Straight after we stayed on there, did a paranormal evening. Straight after there, it's really quite a good place to do one. Actually, it's a Masonic lodge basically,
Okay.
so you can imagine. You know, it's quite a good atmosphere. It's quite good. We had some good things go on. Anyway, that came through. So Jen said, "Oh, you never guess what's happened on the board." She was telling me. I said, "How am I supposed to phone Darren then? You don't have a straightforward line to him, do I? I can't. How can I do that?" Anyway, a couple of days later, I'm sitting in a car with a diagnostic machine, and my phone rings in my pocket. So I think, all right, okay. They pulled my phone out, and it says Darren calling. And I'm like, what? And I showed Angela the call, and it literally said Darren calling. And I'm like, what? I've got to answer this. What am I going to say if it is him? You know, all these things are rushing through my head because it
Did you
said
answer it?
Darren calling. I'm thinking, there's no way. There's no way. So I picked the phone up and gingerly went, hello. And it was my ex-brother-in-law, Darren, that phoned me. That I hadn't been in contact for about 2 years.
Bit of coincidence, eh?
Yeah, weird.
And I showed Angela the call. It said Darren calling.
Then tell them what happened.
So was this in a graveyard then? Were you doing the board in a graveyard?
No.
No, in
No,
the
in the hall.
Oh,
actual.
in the church. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Next time they have one there, come down, Julia. You'll enjoy it. It's quite because right opposite is an old graveyard called the Doomsday Graveyard, and it dates from the Doomsday. That's why it's called the Doomsday Graveyard. You can actually walk in there. We walked in. It's quite really spooky in there. Really,
Yeah.
you know.
Then tell them what happened today.
Oh, and I was a friend of mine was doing like a live. She's Sandra Doughty. She's a medium, a really good medium, and she was on there. And I've been on there for a while. I often watch her, and I went on there and said, "Oh, hi Sandra, how you doing?" Like she said, "Yeah, hi Paul," you know, in a message. Haven't seen you a long time. You know, hope you and Jenny are okay. She said, "Oh, I've got some people coming in here." I'm like, "Okay, it's all right. Don't worry about a message." She said, No. They want me to give you a message. And I'm like, "Okay." And she told me a bit about a lady Wren, that's come through and wants to say thank you for remembering them on Sunday and this, that, and the other. And it's sort of quite a not long message, but she was going for it, and she was spot on. Stay with the paranormal because something big is in the horizon and it's going to work. All your hard work is not for nothing. Keep going. And Saturday was a test, she said. And I'm like, sorry? And I said to her, I missed that. She said, Saturday was a test. So, okay. And then she doesn't know what I did. Anyway, right at the end, she said, I've got a man coming in with a stick, but quite a big man that's laughing. And he said something about a call. He was laughing about a phone call. And I thought, that's him, isn't it? That is him playing a joke on me, isn't it? He's trying to put the wind up me. Because when it said Darren calling, I'm like looking at the phone thinking, how can this be? Because Angela and Jen only said this the other day. How can he be calling me? How am I going to talk to him? I'm thinking, all these things are going through my head. How am I going to talk to him if he's on the phone? All these things that you think you pick a phone up every day and go, hello, didn't you? And I'm thinking, supposing it is him, what am I going to say to him? I had to pick it up because it said, obviously said Darren calling. And it was my ex-brother-in-law I hadn't spoke to for 2 years. He got a problem on the car. He said, I thought I'd give you a ring. I've got a problem on the car. And I sort of went, oh, right. I was quite sort of disappointed, really. But I suppose disappointed and relieved. Because I've never spoken to anybody on the phone the other side. Sorry.
So if you could speak to him, what would you say? That's the thing. What's the question?
I would say, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing us proud? That's what I've been saying. I did promise him, I would keep going, obviously look after Angela and South Coast Ghosts and do everything I can to help everybody. And that would be what I'd asked him. Am I doing the right thing? That would be my one and only question. And I think I know what the answer will be to that.
Yeah.
But how freaky is that to have a phone call when you're talking about him?
Yeah.
Unreal, isn't it? Absolutely unreal. I couldn't wait to tell Jen. Lima 12s, but thanks for the opinions. Paranormal investigating in general, because I don't have the answers. I had several weird encounters. I had no answers in a logical way with spirit and UFOs. Hi from TN, I imagine, is Tennessee in America, I imagine.
It usually is, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think, all our opinions are like that, really, aren't they? Because when we do have a good night, with events that Julia runs, everybody comes out buzzing, talking about all sorts of different things that had happened to them. And the good thing is that Julia has a whiteboard that everybody writes their stuff down and what the encounters they've had. And when you read it, there's some really good, feedback. And when people leave feedback, it's always very good. It's always positive. Had a great night, great team, had some real weird things happen. And you think, that's all you do that for, isn't it? So that somebody else can experience the passion that you had for it.
And I think that's what it's all about, isn't it? It is a hobby, and it is something that you want to do with like-minded people. And as long as you cover the cost of the venue and you'll have a good time, or have get out of it what you want to get out of it, then that's the main reason for carrying on doing them, isn't it? It's just all like and if I hadn't started this, then I wouldn't have I made so many good friends, through what we do. And I think they're going to probably be around for the rest of my life. So it's good for everybody about.
And it's like, I always think to myself,
don't think we're mad or lost the plot.
It's like the investigation. What you put in that evening or day is what you'll get out of it. The more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. If you go there, well, I don't know, I'm not so sure, then you already put yourself down. If you put in a good enthusiasm, like we say, laugh and joke and chat and just have a general good time, is when it all happens. Did you hear that? Did you feel that? Did somebody see that down there? Did you hear the tap? Did you hear the knock? It was right as we were talking, and that's how it works, isn't it? That's how they do it.
Yeah, it happens for us a lot, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's surprising. I think spirit can't do it, so we hear it. They do it as in the middle of a conversation. You can sit there quietly, can't you, asked out and get nothing. you start talking and you think, oh, what was that I just heard? But that's how they do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you have to respect that.
I think the thing is with all of us and everything else, we're a little bubbly little team, aren't we, really, in some respects?
Yeah,
We're like a little
we do have a
family.
laugh.
And the other thing is that we're approachable. We're not, nasty or nothing like that. We can talk to about anything to anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we all help each other if we can. Do you know what I mean? We support each
Yeah.
other if we can.
And we're all sitting there laughing and joking, and all of us, and like Julie said, it makes that atmosphere so much better when you're laughing and joking. You have a good conversation, good positive atmosphere, and then they come. They love all that type of atmosphere because they can feed off it, get their energy off it, and they enjoy it as much as we do.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
And I know there's a couple of people that that message me, and they've said that it's more like a meeting up with a group of friends rather than, oh, I'm going to a ghost hunt event. They come every month because they see it as, catching up with all their friends and doing the ghost hunting as well. So
But that's lovely that they think that, isn't it?
yeah, it's just like a group of friends all meeting up, and so I've got a couple of people I know that do that.
And it's nice that people think that, that it's just like meeting up with friends on a night out. That's quite an honour, isn't it, when people think that?
That's like credit to you, for what you do, isn't it?
Yeah. It makes it all worth it, doesn't it? When somebody says, you know what, I've had such a great night. What a great company you lot are. What great fun it is. And I've really enjoyed the night. And that, for me, just makes that night.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, they've had a time, they've enjoyed it, they've got something out of it, they've gone home and they're going to talk to their friends, and the friends will talk to the friends, and friends and friends and before you know it, everybody's saying, oh, I've told my friends they're going to get tickets, and then before you know it, it's one big happy family, isn't it? You say, oh, I remember you from so and so, and I ain't seen you. No, I missed that one, but I come on this one, and and it works like, and you start to recognise the people that come, like Julie says, they're regulars, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just, it's just really, it's good fun. It's good fun, and it's it's also good for me. I catch up with all my friends as well, and even though I sort of like probably only see them for probably about 5 minutes a night, because everybody's like so busy hosting, and I'm like trying to make sure everyone's okay and check where everyone is, and it's, it would be great if we could just do one where we could just go off and do our own little investigating, because it's hard hosting because you feel you have to show your guests the best that you can possibly show them in 6 hours, and you pull out all the stops, you pull out as much equipment and you can. Some of it will work, some of it won't work, and because you just want to do a really good job, and you just want everyone to go home and say, oh my god, we were there and this happened, and we were there and that happened, and but it's hard work. It's hard work, but rewarding.
We do it. We love it, don't we? Because we're passionate about it. That's the thing.
Yeah. As long as somebody goes home with something at the end of the night, then
that's what I think. Somebody comes out and says, I've had such a great night, thank you so much. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
That hard work all night, someone's gone happy.
Yeah, you put your all into it, haven't you? And even though if sometimes it doesn't feel like you put, sometimes I come home and I think, oh, I could have done that, or oh, I could have done that, or you've done as much, you've done your best, and it's not easy. Some of the guests are but difficult at times, and I know that I've been places where I've been stuck with difficult people, and it's hard. It makes it a really hard night, but you've done your best.
Yeah, I think when you go home and like the next day you think, oh, I could have done that. That I think that's a sign that you've had a really good night as well.
Yeah, I'm just too hard on myself, and I kick myself, and I didn't do that, or oh, I could have shown them that, and oh, we could have done that, and then you're like, oh, it's too late now, isn't it? But
well, you can lead a horse to water, can't you? But you can't make it drink, can you?
And that's like some guests, isn't it? You can do as much as you possibly can, and I think I've had particularly nights. Some nights have been a little bit difficult, and where they don't touch anything, and especially when you've got lots of newbies, they won't touch anything, or they put their fingers on, they take it off, and then they walk away, and you're like, no, just you need to put more into this. Obviously, it's not going to happen, you know.
Yeah.
But
what you put in is what you get out.
yes,
you've got to be very
just
patient
believe
as
in the
well.
process, and it will happen.
It's patience, isn't it? People expect, because they see it on the TV where it crash and bangs and glasses and doors fly open, and we know, because we've been doing it long enough, you need to build the energy before any of that starts to happen, because it doesn't happen within the first 10 minutes of a ghost hunt. People are like, well, that's no good, nothing's happened. But stay with it. You've got to stay with it. You know, you've got to push that energy right up and let spirit come in and let them do what we're asking them to do. But some people are so impatient, they just, you know, it's not happening, crashing, banging, and people running around screaming. You know, it's not a very good night. You know?
People go in the middle of events, don't they? And because they're like, we're getting nothing, but it's because they haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, and you know, sometimes I sort of like bump into people in the base room, and I haven't seen them all night, and you sort of say, oh, you know, what have you got? And they go, oh, we haven't had anything. Oh, well, where have you been? Oh, we've been up, me and so have been off on our own all night, and we haven't had anything. And you're like, well, why didn't you come and find one of us? You know, because we've all got our own strengths, and we've all got the one thing we do have is a lot of experience between all the people that, you know, are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, why didn't you come and find one of us? Why didn't you come and like join one of us? Because they've been on one ghost hunt, and they think that they think they know it, and they think they can go off, and they think they can get what they think they can do it on their own. But sometimes you need more than one or two people to get things going. You need you know, a few people to get that energy and to, you know, to get things to happen. But yeah, it's difficult at times, isn't it?
Did anyone hear that screech a minute ago?
Yeah. I thought I saw something go across the screen then.
Yeah.
That's why I looked that way.
But that was when you were talking again, Julia, as well.
Yeah, I heard it. It sounded like, I don't know, it's sort of like something like almost like plastic on glass or something like that. It's like a
strange noise. Anyway, so
it's normally when there's not many people around. That's when it happens.
Yeah. It's when you least expect it. Isn't it? Yeah. Again, you know, that proves in it, just chatting away like friends, and in they come. They like to connect. I mean, we've had it before. So thank you so much for your comments tonight and joining in with us. Obviously, we'll be back next Monday with another paranormal Monday Night Live. Nearly got it right. So if you was there's a subject you want to talk about or come on and talk to us about, we're actively looking for speakers and talkers to come on. We've had a few on. We've messaged a few, but they haven't come back or to us. So we're still trying to get other speakers on here. So it gives us a bit of different time. So if you have anything you want us to talk about, or you can come on here and talk about your favourite subject, haunted houses, dolls, you know, objects, anything. We'll listen to anything, and you know, we're friendly, as you can see through the live stream that we're friendly. We like to have a laugh and all of that. So from all of us on here, have a very safe week. Take it easy out there. Don't bump into too many ghosts or aliens. I'm sure they're out there.
Don't get abducted.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't get abducted. Try and stay on the earth plane for a little. But if you get abducted, can you come on next Monday and tell us about it?
It's like.
Or put it on your phone. Put a message.
Take some photos.
Send it to someone. We can see it in case you got abducted.
Don't forget the voice recordings. It's always good to have a voice recording. So if you do get abducted, please come on and let us know.
Yeah.
If you don't come on and you just send a voicemail, then we'll know something's happened.
Exactly.
It's not as though we'll come looking for you either, because if you've been abducted, we'll be watching from the sidelines. So it only remains for me to say, have a safe week out there, everybody, and we'll see you next Monday. And thanks for your comments and tuning in. Thank you. Bye.